So, Steve, one of the things that we see people do when they encounter corruption and they see an error in their SQL Server log or they realize they have corruption, they go to Google. And what's one of the first things that comes up in Google to fix corruption? What does Google say?
Oh, well, you got a lot of pages where people are suggesting you run repair allow data loss.
Oh,
And if you
shivers.
go, don't you on your Derek Bovenkamp blog page have like a giant red alert button or something like that on your repair allow data loss
I've
article?
got the Apollo 13 master caution alarm that's shaking around a parallel data loss.
So what repair allow data loss does is it basically says, scan my database and any page or any 8K chunk of that database that looks corrupt, just throw it out. It's sort of like if you spilt coffee on a book and you went through and every book page that had some coffee spilt on it, you're going to throw away and then you try and read the book later. It's not going to make any sense. But what repair allow data loss does, and some people phrase it as, well, it'll get rid of data if it needs to. No, it'll get rid of data if it sees corruption at all. It'll just throw it away. And one of the things we see, I mean, how many times have we seen, Derek, where somebody says, well, I ran repair allow data loss, it didn't fix it, but it got rid of some of the errors. And then now we need to recover the database. Not only do we have to fix the corruption, but we have to get back all those rows that were somehow thrown out.
I mean, I would say, like, in the extreme lucky, it gets stuck and it can't throw anything out, and they're okay. But a lot of times, you and I have seen it. It'll throw an entire table out, not
Yep.
just an 8K chunk. When there is maybe only a couple 8K chunks that are actually corrupt, it'll just be like, throw that entire table out. And we've seen people, and I don't think, and to be fair to them, they're in a stressful situation and they're reading what people say. We've seen people run that and not really realize that, hey, maybe it says it's not corrupt now, but I may have lost crucial data. And if you're talking about payroll data or banking data or healthcare data, how many of you are willing to just go into a filing cabinet and pick a folder and throw it out and know you're never going to need it again?
And if this is my bank and they're running repair allow data loss, and I suddenly look and see that my account balance is not what I expect it to be, and they just happen to throw away a month worth of my transactions at the bank, that would not make me very happy. So one of the things that we always tell people before ever using repair allow data loss, call us and we can talk about options. And that's one of the things we offer, a free 30-minute consult. If you've got a corrupt database, call us. And sometimes we've been able to talk people through in 30 minutes and come up with a solution. They go and do it on their own. Didn't cost them anything. Other times it leads to a full corruption repair on our part. But either way, we're going to use that 30 minutes to take the best stab we can at doing whatever we can to get that database repaired for you. Now, with that, there's also the repair rebuild. And from my experience, repair rebuild is okay to run if you're running DBCC check table with repair rebuild and you're just repairing an index in a table or something like that. But oftentimes, if it's something that's actually in the data pages for a table and not an index, it's going to push you to run repair allow data loss. Oh, and that's one of my peeves as well, is that when you run CheckDB, it will often tell you repair allow data loss is the only option to get this back and or to get your database back. And yeah, it'll bring your database back, but it might be missing a whole lot of data after you run that. So do not run repair allow data loss. And just as a reminder, because it throws database out.